Welcome back, brave souls. Tonight, I have a story that will keep you awake long after the darkness falls. A tale of a house so still, yet so unsettling, that it will make you question whether some things are better left unknown. Blight's End, the place where isolation isn't just a feeling. It's a warning. Before we begin, I want to hear from you. If you've ever experienced something strange or unexplainable, leave your story in the comments. Who knows? Your chilling tale might just be featured in an upcoming episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Join me as we venture into the unknown. Sarah had been looking for something. A quiet retreat away from the noise and chaos of the city. A place where she could clear her mind, focus on her work. Blight's End, an old house nestled in the hills, seemed perfect, a sanctuary hidden from the world. Little did she know, what she was seeking wasn't peace, but something much darker. The house stood alone on the edge of a forest, miles away from civilization. Its weathered exterior, cloaked in the shadows of the trees, seemed to whisper in the wind. Inside, the air was thick with dust. The wooden floors groaned underfoot, the smell of mothballs and old fabric hung in the air, and the silence unsettling, suffocating pressed in from every corner. Sarah, still hopeful, explored the rooms. Each was filled with the weight of time-faded wallpaper peeling from the walls, furniture covered in sheets like forgotten memories. The dim light from the single window only accentuated the gloom, casting long shadows that seemed to shift as if alive. After a few hours of unpacking, Sarah decided to take precautions. She checked every lock, every window, every door, just to be sure. There was something about the stillness that felt off, and she wanted to reassure herself, convince her mind that this house wasn't watching her. All secure, she thought. But there was one door in the kitchen that didn't lock properly. A minor flaw, really? The old brass handle turned a bit too easily, and the door creaked on its hinges like it was begging to be opened. Sarah fixed it, but a lingering unease washed over her. Later that evening, as Sarah settled into her makeshift workspace, she noticed something strange. A small, worn photograph was lying face up on the kitchen counter, a photo she swore she hadn't left there. Her pulse quickened. She hesitated, fingers hovering over the edge. A quick glance around the room. Nothing unusual, nothing that seemed out of place. She must have left it there, right? It was just a coincidence. Nothing to worry about. But she couldn't shake the feeling. A coldness in the air, the shadows lingering just a little too long. Her heart thudded in her chest as she put the photograph back in place, trying to ignore the creeping dread that wrapped around her. That night, things began to shift. Strange noises filled the house, soft knocks, the faint sound of footsteps, like someone walking just out of reach. The lights flickered in the hallway, casting a fleeting glimpse of something. Someone in the corner of her eye. Sarah brushed it off. It had to be the house settling, she told herself. It was old, after all. But then, the cold spots began to appear, spots of ice-cold air that made her shiver, no matter where she went. She checked again, room by room. Nothing. But the shadows, they were different now. Thicker, darker, like they were watching her. Then, the door. The one with the broken lock. It had opened on its own. Slowly, creaking with a dreadful slowness. Heart pounding in her chest, Sarah crept toward it, her breath catching in her throat. She stepped inside and gasped in horror. A figure stood at the far end of the room, tall, pale, and motionless, as if frozen in place. Her heart raced, blood pounding in her ears. The locks were tampered with. The door had been opened from the inside. Fear surged through her. She had to leave. Now. Sarah didn't look back as she gathered what little she could carry and rushed out of Blight's End. She drove for miles before the fear finally began to fade. But a part of her, a small part, knew she hadn't escaped the house. It was still there waiting. Sometimes the things we run from follow us, lingering in the shadows. And sometimes it's better to trust our instincts, to leave when we know something is wrong, before it's too late. If you've ever found yourself in a place where something just didn't feel right, listen to that voice. Because sometimes the house is alive. Thank you for joining me tonight. If you've had your own unsettling experience, share it with us in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more chilling tales from the unknown.